So this is a really versatile stitch. You can use it in lots of different ways. So I'm going to show you how to make a wheel, buttonhole wheel out of it. So I'm going to work it in the centre of this flower here. I'm using my nice Lana threads here, using a double one so you can see clearly what I'm working on. I'm just going to start it right on this edge. Now the edge of this will get covered and the centre, but there will be some gaps in the middle, so start and finish your thread where it won't be seen. So I'm going to come up on the edge of my circle, on the outside edge, and then I'm going to take the needle down in the middle. You can roughly decide where the middle is, there's no need to measure these things, like about there I think. So take the needle down in the centre, but leave yourself a loop here. I'm going to come back up inside the loop a little way along that circle, so a couple of mil, 1/16 of an inch along the circle, but inside the loop, that's quite important. Pull the needle through and then just tension that up. I'm pulling that thread towards me so you can see it makes this backwards L shape. If I tension it the wrong way, it does something entirely different and I get a straight line, which I don't want. So tension it towards yourself and it will make that L shape, that's quite important. So I'm just holding the tension on this thread here and I'm going to go back down the same hole in the centre. There's my loop again, a little way along the outside of that circle, and I'm coming up inside the loop, not outside. Make sure your needle's inside the loop. Pull the needle through, tension that up, tension towards me, and there's my L shape again. I'm going to just work my way around the shape like that. So keep the tension on your thread down in the centre, and then don't worry about the little starting stitches, we'll just go straight over those. So back up on the edge of the circle, inside that loop, a short distance from the previous one, pull it tight to get your L shape. And we can just continue around the circle, try and get those distances nice and even and your tension nice and even. Don't get too wide with those, keep them nice and close together. The middle will obviously fill up with stitches, but that's okay. Just keep taking the needle down in the centre if you can. If you pull on it fairly tightly, it does open that centre up. Get one more in and then I'll show you how to change the thread. You can see as I'm going around the circle, my tension is now over to my right, but it's away from the centre, so that when I come out with that, it still makes that shape. Now if you want to change thread, each thread stitch is connected to the next stitch, so I'm just going to finish that one off. So I'm going to take it down the other side of my loop. So there is my loop. The minute it's waving around, and I need to just secure that down so the needle goes down the other side of that loop to stop it coming up again. You can finish that thread off on the back. Bring your next thread in. You can change colour if you want to. I'm going to use the same colour. Start your thread off, and then to continue the stitch you have to continue from where you left off, so we're actually going to come back up inside that L shape. So I'm not outside, that's where I went down. That needle's just coming up on the inside of that loop. You'll see, just follow that. You'll see what that does now. So that's where it was before if I was just continuing that shape. So back down the centre. There's my loop. Needle comes up inside that loop on the edge of my circle. Tension towards the outside of the circle to get those nice shapes. And then continue round. Now that's just pulled away a little bit. You see that's pulling in, that's just a bit too tight there. So just need to adjust my tension a little bit. You can see the buttonhole wheel starting to form there. It's getting quite tight in the middle, but that's okay, the needle's still going down there. Working my way around. Probably going to need to change thread one more time, shame. So down on the other side of the L shape to secure that in place. And another piece of thread just to finish off that last section. It's better to start and stop rather than have one unwieldy thread length, because it just tends to get knotted and you have to start again anyway. So start and stop. So to start again, up inside that L shape, that's a continuation of where you left off, down in the centre. Now if you can carefully work it so that when you end up back where you started, you've got the same spacing. That's just practice, really. The closer together you do them, the easier that is. And then to finish, you can see I've met up, that was my starting stitch there, so I'm going to go right down where I came out with my starting stitch on the other side of the loop to finish that off. And then you can finish your threads off on the back. Cut the knots off so you can see clearly. And there you have a very beautiful buttonhole wheel.